Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to play a tank that is not for noobs. This tank 100% shouldn't be played as a noob because you will struggle. I struggle. I even struggle. And there's many people that struggle with the tank. And it took me years to like the tank. I've always said it is a fantastic tank, but I just don't get on with it. It doesn't work for me, or it's not always worked for me. And it's not a tank, even though it has the second highest alpha in the game, it's not a tank that I am really scared of. If it's on the enemy team, it's one of those tanks where, okay, that player's probably not a good player and he probably doesn't know how to play it. It's a very difficult tank to play. It's not an easy tank. It is a tank destroyer that you shouldn't really use it as a tank destroyer as such. Of course, it is that kind of like an E100, but it doesn't have a turret. You can't turn your turret or anything like that, and that's what makes it really difficult to play. Armor profile wise, on paper, is actually really good. 200mm on the front, but of course the lower plate and your cheeks are fairly weak. Now your cheeks have got buffed over the years, so if you do angle, then yeah, you can get some bounces on them cheeks, just like you can on the E100. DPM, 2,850. I think for what it is, that DPM is actually really good. We are also running this with calibrated shells because the penetration is one of the best in the entire game. So you've got standard 314 AP pen, but you have 314 pen with AP, but 418 pen with your heat, which is one of the best. I think it's like joint best or something like that in the entire game. So yeah, you can run it without calibrated shells and the rammer. You still got decent pen, really good pen, and you'll have over 3,000 DPM. So it all depends what you want to run it with. It's up to you. Like, there's no right or wrong with this. You can either have the penetration or you can have the DPM. It is up to you. So you do have a 800 alpha gun, 680 on your heat, which is a massive difference. So you don't really want to be shooting that heat if you don't have to. But you do have a 1200 HE pen. So if you are able to get that HE out, then I strongly recommend you try, because that is a lot of damage. Aim time, again, I don't think that is bad for what the tank is. It's basically a super heavy with just a massive gun. 3.9, I don't think is that bad. The same as the gun dispersion. Like, that's kind of average for a tier 10 heavy Russian tank, 0.344. So I don't think that is too bad for what it is either. However, it does only have 6 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 30 kilometers per hour. Now, the tank is good in the right hands, and I've always said that. The tank is superb in the right hands, but it's not a tank that is known to do well when you're under pressure. So if you get rushed, or if you're on your own against 3 tanks, it's a struggle. It really is a struggle to carry the team. If you've got teammates alive, even if it's one teammate alive, then it is completely different. Like, you can carry, but you need that support. Like, it is a tank that really does need a bit of support. If you don't have that support, then yeah, you can die very quickly. I don't use it as a tank destroyer, not often. I do like to sort of get in the mix of things. I like to go with my heavies. I do like to support the heavies, and I just like to be front line, sort of doing that damage. And you do have to remember, if you are on a reload, just try to angle. Like here, I'm not just going backwards, I'm sort of coming at an angle. He would still be able to probably penetrate my lower plate, but I'm not making it easy for him. And that's what you need to do with the tank. Always try to aim your shots, because you don't want to miss your shot. You do 800 alpha. You know, that's a massive amount of damage per shot. You want to make every single shot count. And like I said, if you can get that HE shot out, do it. You know, you have to try and do it as long as you can. If you can't, and you're not comfortable with the shooting the HE, then yeah, just go with the AP. But I'm talking, if you come at the back of a tank, then do switch to HE, because you will be able to do a lot more damage than your normal AP. 400 damage more, in fact. So far, this game, both games are pretty similar, to be fair. I do a decent amount of damage, but I just can't get over the end bit, you know, because I'm pretty much left on my own. And this is why I wanted to show these two games, not just because they're two decent games, but just to show you the struggles you have with the tank when you just don't play it 100% correctly. And I admit, I do make mistakes both of these games. So far now, it is a 3 versus 3. I do go for the Hori here. I probably could have gone for the Skoda there. I went for the Hori because I do think he's a bit of a more dangerous target than the Skoda. But if I would have got the shot on the Skoda, he'd be a one-shot. And that's the difference. And sometimes it is these little mistakes that change everything. Like, one mistake can change everything. And I still think at this point, because he wasn't full hit points, I could have gone for the Skoda there. Now, I really want to go for this Death Star, because he's a dangerous target, like very dangerous target. And if I can get the shot off, then that's he can almost kill me with one shot. So there's the Skoda. We do get the shot off, which now we do bring him down to a one shot. But the difference is, he could have now been dead. He could have now been dead, and it could have been a 2 versus 2. And again, that does make all the difference, because the Death Star is a one-shot. Obviously, the Hori would have been full hit points if I wouldn't have got that shot off. So yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you do make these little mistakes when you're driving a tank like this tank. It really is. Even now, like, I'm on my own against 3 tanks. I'm like, you know what? 2 of these guys are one-shots. I'm winning on supremacy points. We have 2 bases. What am I going to do? Now, this is where I don't know what to do, because the Skoda's there. I can't push. I really want to push the Death Star, but I can't. I can't push the Skoda because I'll be out. He could just, you know, he's a medium tank. He could just completely annihilate me. So I've just got to be patient. There's the Hori coming as well. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Because if 2 tanks come from one side and 1 tank comes from the other side, then I'm shit out of luck here. So that was a shot that I didn't really need to take, if I'm honest. But there's the Skoda, and I really want to kill him because it's a medium tank out of the game. But yeah, what can I do at this point? I just have to sit and wait patiently, and eventually it does pay dividends. And even at this point, I can see the Death Star coming around, and I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of that guy. I have to. Can I do it without me being shot? Who knows? But at this point, now I have to move. Luckily, I do get a bounce from the Death Star, but now I do have to move, and I really have to take this Death Star out because I can take a shot from this Hori. But sadly, as soon as he comes around the corner, I'm side on. And now, unless I get really lucky with a low roll from this Hori, what can I do? So I really wanted to go for the track there, but it was just too late. I wanted to go for the track and back up, or just go forward and try to angle. Yeah, but I just couldn't get there, sadly. So it's these kind of things that you put yourself in, like the positions. Could I have done different there? Yeah, maybe I could have, but overall, you know, I gave it my best shot. I did give it my best shot, and there's not too much I could have done differently that game. But imagine if that was a complete noob. Now, I'm a noob. I'll admit I'm a noob, but if that was a complete noob, then there's just no way that they're going to be able to do this kind of damage. And if I can't carry a game and other people can't carry a game, then noobs are definitely not going to be able to carry a game. Which is why I say this and the E100, really, they are not. It is not a tank for noobs. It really isn't a tank for noobs. This game, again, I'm going to do a decent amount of damage. I do struggle towards the end, and unlike driving a heavy tank or a medium tank, there's only so much you can do. And again, you've got to make sure that every decision that you make is absolutely 100% correct. Now, again, all my team are around this side of the map, except for one. Which is the TVP. Now, I'm still getting damage off here. The E4 up there, you've got a Minotaur now coming from behind, the VK, the Kranwagen. I could just sit here and support my team a little bit more, or I could even drop down there with the Minotauro sort of around that side of the map. And looking at it, I think that is what I should have really done. But because this Minotauro is pushing the TVP is vulnerable. You know, he's a good tank, but it's got no armor. And if this Minotauro gets all of his shots off, then he could be pretty much dead. So I just wanted to come around the corner and you know, give him a bit of support. And luckily I did get a bounce from this guy. I'm getting a bounce from the side as well. But of course I do get shot from the Type 61 and from someone behind, which really did not help me here. So yeah, I have to push this guy. He is a one-shot, and I'm trying to angle whilst going up to him, and I do manage to take him out. But at this point, just trying to kill one tank or trying to support this guy who's lost all of his hit points, I've now just done what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to come this side of the map. Like, I really didn't. But at least I killed one guy. Couldn't quite get that shot off there on the Type 61, which is going to be very, very unfortunate. Like, I really wish I just would have tried that snapshot. It might have made all the difference. Because now, look at the minimap. I am this side of the map all by myself. The Type 61 has gone elsewhere. He's run away. And now all of a sudden I'm on my own. I'm on my own. I've got no protection whatsoever. If one of these medium tanks comes up behind me, I'm dead. I'm done for. We're one tank down, or we're two tanks down. One tank down for the enemy. So we are losing as well. I think already I've still done a decent job. You know, I've done a decent job. But now what am I going to do? I've got a medium tank in front of me. People are dying. What do I do? What can you do? I don't know why I decided to come this way. I really, really don't. What am I supposed to do? I can't climb the hill because he's just going to get behind me. He seems like a decent player, and he's doing the right thing. He knows I can't get the shot off, and now look, I'm on my own against 1 versus 6. I'm on 4.7k damage. I have blocked 2,100 damage, which I think is a decent job, but the only thing I can really do is just back up and hope for the best. If I would have saved all my hit points or gone with the team the other way, then I may have taken some more damage, or may have got more damage, it may have got more kills, and because there are a few one-shots out there. And that's the thing with driving a tank like this, or the Death Star, or even things like the Grill E100, one shot can make all of the difference. So we're on 2 kills. I'm like, okay, I need to get into a position where I can actually, I can try to do something at least, you know. And for me, a building or a corner, that's the best option for me. Now, sadly, because of that Type 61 not dying, he's my biggest threat at the moment, because he could just come around at the side of me. So I've just got to be patient. There's the Type 61. I do get the shot, and what a stupid low roll that was. I do get set on fire. I'm now, and you know, what more can I do? So it is very unfortunate, but I did want to show them games because I was left alone, and I just wanted to show that it isn't a tank that you really can carry in. And yeah, it's definitely not a noob man's tank. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know what you think of the JG PZ E100. It is a fantastic tank, but a very, very difficult tank to play. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.